I wanted to talk about a YouTuber that I really like who we lost, and I didn't expect it to hit me as hard as it has. It's like losing a friend, even though I never knew the man. I never knew Adam the Woo. But in this recording, I want to talk about who he was, what he taught me, what he meant to like the YouTube community that he was part of. This is JARHUMOR speaking. The personal sort of feeling that I have about the loss of Adam, a few months ago I started reevaluating what I wanted to contribute to the internet. Last year I had discovered this format of, you could call it just podcasting, talking into a microphone. This is kind of like an audio vlog almost. It's a way for me to talk about my life and about being an artist and getting that out there. And Adam was one of the people that actually convinced me to do vlogging via his own vlogging. He had rose to fame by going to theme parks and even infamously sneaking backstage at Universal Studios Florida, where he filmed the Nickelodeon studio, the old Nickelodeon Studios building that I had been in as a child. Like, Universal Studios Florida was my park. That was the park that shaped my young years of me wanting to be a filmmaker and a creative person. In parallel, Adam, his park was MGM Studios, the Disney Hollywood, which is now called Disney Hollywood Studios. His feelings about the entertainment industry were very similar, and this is sort of a kindred spirit. You find those people out there on the internet. You find kindred spirits. And to find out that he had passed away affected me in a way I didn't expect. It was a few days before Christmas. I'm filming this I'm recording this. I'm sorry, the wordage, semantics. I'm recording this at about 11 o'clock at night on Christmas Day. I wanted to wait till after Christmas was over to do this. It's a bummer. It's no fun. Death may be a part of life, but this type of loss is so sad. Adam was 51 years old, and he was a man that I watched on nearly a daily basis live out his life that he had created through a lot of people who think that vloggers are people who try to just get out of having a real job. Yes, and good for them. Absolutely. Adam had worked retail jobs for years until he finally had enough. And he's the guy that had the balls to buy a van, to quit his job, buy a van, and go around and just film cool stuff. He filmed roadside attractions. He filmed movie and TV filming locations. He was the guy. He was the hero to many that quit the job and did his art. And he lived in a van. And he had a Patreon just for gas money and things like that, which he got rid of years later. He did merchandise. He sold t-shirts. He got rid of that because he didn't really need it, because he got serious ad revenue from YouTube. So much so that he built the life he wanted, which is inspirational. He bought a home, a very nice home, a couple years ago in Celebration, Florida. And he had been living out his life as this kind of Disney vlogger, going to Disney, driving around Celebration recently, with the holiday, driving around showing off Christmas decorations. He was showing off his Halloween decorations. And over the last few months, I was like, this is the guy I want to be like, except, I don't want to be a Disney vlogger. But I kept getting this weird sort of thing in my head about vlogging. And I have Adam to blame for that he got me into starting to pick up a camera and film myself doing my cartooning and showing off some of the things that I enjoy, some of the weird crap that I buy from like thrift stores and I've made 2 vlogs since then. I made one that was just me experimenting with the format, and then one that was a Halloween vlog, and I'm proud of those things. But it's him. He was my mentor. And I did not expect this to hit me so damn hard to find out that he had passed. Everyone was shocked. 51 years old. He had just gotten back from a month in Europe where his pudgy ass was trudging around Europe. And I bring that up as a cautionary tale because we don't know yet. It's way too early for me personally in this recording to know what his cause of death was. But people are starting to speculate. I was talking to someone at work who's big into Disney and watches the Disney vloggers. He's like, yeah, people were saying maybe he picked something up overseas. Yeah, he picked up walking around Europe too much. All right, he didn't get a disease. I don't think I'm gonna look like an ass if that turns out to be what he got. I think his body gave out on him. I think this was a man who pushed himself too hard. And ironically, the thing that I learned the most from Adam was the idea of keeping things simple. This was his motto for years. This was his mantra. Keep things simple. He had a simple life. He had a routine. He had a schedule. The reason I picked him as a mentor was because he could do the one thing that I couldn't do. He could be consistent. He was committed. Daily vlogs. He almost never took a day off. He documented his entire trek around Europe, some of which I couldn't watch because it made me claustrophobic. Imagine thousands of European Griswolds all gathered around the Colosseum in Rome with their backpacks and their cameras, all taking pictures of the same crap over and over again. It gave me anxiety looking at those crowds. But there's Adam, going and getting his Starbucks, his piping hot caffeinated beverage that he always started most of his vlogs with. And the reason the man drank hot coffee, even in the Florida heat, was so it would last longer. That was his theory. He said he'll just down an iced coffee. I understand that feeling. Sometimes when I'm working my retail job, I reach for that damn Java Monster and I have to slam that thing. Recently, if I grab any of those caffeinated beverages, I water them down. I have a little thermos, I pour them in there, and I pour water over top of them, and I just sip them all day. I understand that because I know there's a price to pay sooner or later for that life. That's the kind of point that I want to make with this. The man, 51 years old, pudgy as I am, trekking around Europe. I can only imagine the stress it had on his body. Adam bought a 3-story walk-up, 3-story townhouse. I don't think it's called a walk-up. I think it's called, I just was thinking of him walking up those damn stairs each and every day. 3-story townhouse in Celebration, Florida. And I couldn't imagine him just having to walk all the way up those stairs. He was found in his bed by a friend of his that they were planning on doing some filming that day, going somewhere. Adam never returned the guy's texts or his calls, and the guy got worried. Had the police do a wellness check. No one answers the door. Can't really do anything. Guy gets a ladder. I think it was another guy that's a YouTuber. I don't know who it was. I read some reports on various things. I don't really recognize the guy's name, but I'm sure I've seen him probably in one of Adam's videos, or one of his local friends. Climbed a ladder up to his 3-story balcony, peered in, and saw someone laying in Adam's bed. That was most likely Adam, not moving. And it was him. That's sad. It could be worse, I guess. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. It was even worse the way I found out about it. And it cured me of something. That's checking social media before I go to bed. I've always heard that. I remember years ago, Chris Hardwick used to say, don't ever check your emails or your social media when you first wake up or as you're going to bed. Don't do it. And I usually don't. But I've gotten in a bad habit of when I go to bed, checking out them Instagram hoes, seeing if maybe one of them end up in my dreams. And that's what I was ready to just go to bed. It was just another night going to bed. Ooh, let's see about them Instagram hoes. And there was a post from a fellow Disney vlogger. And she had shared a picture of her and Adam. I go, oh, her super enthused, Jackie. I'm like, oh, they must have saw each other at Disney. That's neat. I look forward to watching both of their vlogs, as I like both of their styles of vlogging. That's gonna be neat. I scroll to the next picture. Another picture of her and Adam. Another picture from different time periods. What, is it his birthday or something? I read the description. So sad to hear, and I sunk. My whole body sunk. I'm like, no, can't be. We just saw Adam. We see him every day. We see him every day on YouTube. It can't be. More and more people, the theme park vloggers, Ordinary Adventures, both Peter and Kitra, are sharing stories, pictures of them with Adam the Woo. I'm like, no. I go to the Google. I look, sure enough, there are articles starting to form. TMZ wrote an article about it. USA Today, People.com. The New York Post wrote an article talking about the haunting last words of the vlogger. The vlog is over. Something that was anyone who was a fan of Adam's knew that's how he signed everything off. The vlog is over. And those words, of course, are haunting. Now, what got me, because it took me a couple days to watch that last vlog of his. I hadn't watched that one of him going around Celebration with that guy dressed as the Grinch. Hell, that guy dressed as the Grinch might be the guy that found him, for all I know. I don't know, because I don't know the guy's name. I read the guy's name in the articles, but I don't know the guy's name. But he's going around Celebration looking at all the Christmas tree stuff with a guy dressed in a very film realistic, like Jim Carrey realistic Grinch makeup. And at the very end of it, he's showing off his Christmas decorations. The words that were more haunting to me than the vlog is over, I'll see you guys in the next video. I wasn't ready for that. That one I wasn't ready for. And, I'm still a couple days later. I was a mess. I even people at work saw something was wrong to me. And how do you explain that to people? That you lost one of your YouTubers? Because it really does seem like, I don't know. I was sad when, when certain celebrities die. Bob Saget, that was tragic. Harold Ramis. I'd loved Ghostbusters my entire life. I was sad. But no one saw it on my face at work. But this was something else because Adam was my mentor. And I didn't mix words. When someone asked me what was wrong, I said, my mentor has died. The man who was teaching me about consistency. He had a schedule. He'd get up. He'd go get his piping hot caffeinated beverage, and he was already filming. He was already at work before having a cup of coffee. How many of us can say we do that? The man was at work, ready to go, filming the day, whatever that day's adventure was, and that was the thing that I admired the most. Every day was an adventure for Adam. He took you on that adventure. He used to say, "Join me. Shall you?" I loved that. It was something that I've read other people's comments on his various social media that are just reflect my own feelings about how there was this constant thing in your life, this constant daily update on a person. You understood his idioms, his little ways of speaking. He'd go somewhere with a lot of people. He'd say it's a real beehive of activity here. You knew how Adam talked. This is a man that got excited to see a monorail go by. There goes the monorail. That's just in my head. I can't look at a monorail without hearing Adam's voice. The man had such personality, such character. He was a genuine person who had such a way about him, such an enthusiasm for things. Even the vlogs where he didn't even go to a Disney park, where he was just doing something, he managed to make interesting. Sometimes he would just walk around, point the camera at himself, and just talk about what he was thinking about the future. Those things also haunt me, because Adam was always a man who was making plans for the future. He was planning road trips for all of 2026. He was going to do traveling across the country, Route 66 stuff, and that. And when I was watching his Disneyland Paris videos, he loved that park so much. And he's like, well, I got it. He goes, I'm not coming back next year because I'm doing the road trips, but the year after, he goes, I'm going to have to make this a yearly thing to keep coming back to Disneyland Paris. This is what he said in the last video he not that he ever made, but that he ever made at Disneyland Paris. That was his last trip to Disneyland Paris. This is all the haunting stuff. See, I'm alive, and I get to witness the fact that Adam doesn't know he's not. I've seen a lot more tragic things. I've seen people much younger pass away, people who never lived a life. We've got to celebrate the fact that Adam lived his life. Adam took the risk. He went out there, he put himself out there on a daily basis. This was a man of consistency. This, like I said, that's the one thing that I genuinely need in my life right now, was consistency. That's what inspired me. And he still inspires me. He is still my mentor, by the way. He is just also deceased at this point. He may not have anything new to come out, but there's plenty more to discover. Because I know I never watch every video of his. I'm going to have to go back through the catalog. I hope that his channel stays up for some time. I hope his family... God, his family. That was the thing that probably... that was the thing that got me. The other thing I wanted to say, though, before I talk about his family, was with the whole making plans thing. Adam had this expression that he used to use. He was the son of a preacher. He's very southern, like me. We're both boys from Florida. He's originally from Oklahoma. My family's originally from Texas. Damn near the same thing. And then just lived the rest of our lives in Florida. He used to say, "Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise." And he said that about going back to Disneyland Paris. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. And just... He said that I feel more frequently over this past year, which kind of scares me. As if he... Because I know I have health problems. This year in particularly for me has scared me so much that I finally got health insurance again. That's the thing. That's I know that because I'm a single guy and I walk too many things off. Oh, I'm sure it's just gas. Oh, I'm sure it's nothing. That's the trouble. And Adam was a single guy. He had no one to drive him to the hospital. He had no one that said, "Honey, what's wrong?" He had family. If I could segue back into that thought that I had. He had family. His mother and father are still alive. How horrible is that for them? Days before Christmas, the Williams family, Adam's real name was I always thought his name was just Adam Williams. It took one of these articles to tell me that his real name was David Adam Williams. You think you know a guy. Been watching him for years. I had heard years ago his last name was Williams. Thought nothing of it. I prefer people's stage names. Adam the Woo, something he came up with, but his family. I mean, I thought about them. Mother and father, sweetest people. He'd take to on vacation type stuff. He'd do vacation stuff. He went to the Polynesian resort with them recently, I remember. Sweet people. He's got a sister I know of. I don't know any of his other family, really. And my heart goes out to the Williams family. This is probably, without a doubt, the toughest Christmas that they have experienced. And this week has been no picnic for me either, though I'm still here. I'm still kicking, good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. I'm still doing what I need to do. I feel like there's still a lot more I can learn from Adam, but it is haunting to me that he is one of two mentors that I had locked in on this past year, and I'm not a Disney vlogger. I didn't understand it, because about 6 months ago I started doing a new goal card, which I learned this technique from the book Think and Grow Rich, and I started reading this goal card over and over again about doing my podcasts and my videos and my cartooning more consistently and getting them out on the internet and how I wanted to do things. And when you start doing stuff like this over and over again, you start reading these goals, you start having these goals, your brain starts doing things that you don't expect it to do. It starts getting little pieces of information for you. And the word that kept coming into my head was vlogging. And I would say to this voice inside my head, this little Jiminy Cricket, this JC, this divine thing whispering in my ear, what about it? What about vlogging? I'm not a Disney vlogger. What about vlogging? I started even going onto eBay and looking up vlog cameras. Why? I'm not spending this money on a vlog camera. I ended up it turns out I needed to upgrade my cell phone. My cell phone was crap in the bed, and I needed a new one. And I ended up getting a nice one, and just making payments on it. I used to just buy them outright, but like the last phone I bought cost me $25 with my cell phone plan. I decided I'm like okay, my cell phone carrier's got this thing where I can get this really nice cell phone, this Samsung Galaxy, this brand new A16 Samsung Galaxy. It's a $200 phone, but all I got to do is pay an extra $7 every month for I don't know, it's like 2 years or something, but no interest. There's no interest on it, so I'm still paying $200, but I'm really spreading it out. And it works for me because I don't have a whole lot of like unlimited text or anything like that, because I barely use that damn thing. I hate cell phones. Which is funny now it's my camera that I use for making videos of me doing my cartoons and various things that I did those first two vlogs on. Even my little cartoon videos where I wave around my little cartoon characters that I have cut out into little pieces of cardstock. I did a couple things with this new camera, and it looks so good. It looks so much better than my Sony Handycam, which sometimes has a hard time focusing on characters that don't look human. Only a few of my characters look human, and everything else is like a robot with no human features, or like a space monster or something like that. So it has trouble locking onto their faces. The Samsung Galaxy though it works. And I'm like, am I vlogging now? Is this what I'm doing? I have Adam to blame for that. Thank you. Thank you so much for leading me towards something that's really fun. Adam made everything look fun. That was the thing. He had this personality that just he seemed like a genuinely fun person to just be around. And you got to spend 30 minutes with him every day going on an adventure. That's an incredible thing to give the world. He gave that to the world, and the world gave back to him. And not like financially. He did very well. I think he even would talk about how he's surprised, how he's shocked, and what he did. But he really did create something amazing. And he did it as a genuine person, as himself. He never shilled. He never stopped what he was doing to say, this video is sponsored by the video game league of something or other, or you know what I mean? Like he never did that. He never cared about the money. He never chased the money. And I'll be damned if it didn't just fall into his lap because everyone loved him. He was genuinely a good person. People just loved his videos. I found out about him from watching the Tim Tracker. I was back when Tim just had a mustache and he'd say "Holy macaroni" and stuff like that. There's this very enthusiastic guy with a handlebar mustache called the Tim Tracker. They used to go around the various theme parks and sometimes Adam was with him. And I'm like, who's this other guy? This other guy's also great. I got to find who that guy is, and that's how I discovered Adam. The Woo was through Tim's channel. That whole thing of Adam, actually, I had mentioned earlier of him sneaking backstage at Universal Studios Florida, the Nickelodeon Studios, actually got him banned from Universal. I remember watching a video one day of him going to Universal. It was when they opened the Jimmy Fallon ride. And that was the day he got banned from Universal. And I knew the title of the video, that he was getting banned. And I'm watching it, and I'm just like, oh, Adam, shut up. Because he's yelling at Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, can you smell what the vlog is cooking? And I felt to myself, oh my God, is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson that big of a dick? That he's like, whoever that guy is, I want him out of here. like that's what I thought. So the story Universal tells is that they had that it was obviously Adam's, like his being very loud in the crowd that drew attention to them, that he was there and they recognized who he was, and that he had made that video. And then they served him with a trespass, a lifetime ban for Universal Studios Florida and the resort. So he never went to Epic Universe. He wasn't allowed on property. Now he could go to Universal Studios in Hollywood, which he sometimes frequently have to go to for things like Halloween Horror Nights and things like that. He could go to Universal Studios in Japan, but not where he lived. And Adam would have even admitted that he used to be kind of a dickhead years ago, where he would sneak into places and everything like that. Though the Universal Studios thing, that was he was let in by someone who was filming something there, and I never learned the name of the person, but someone that was a friend of his was filming. He had rented out the studios for filming, and invited Adam to come back there. He didn't sneak back there, but he did not have permission to film back there. That is true. But he also snuck around Disney. I think he got banned. From what I remember, he got banned once from Disney, but they lifted the ban. Thank goodness. I think that would have broke that man's damn heart. I think it did. I think those bans, and I think the Disney one in particular, got him to kind of calm down a little bit. He'd get a little too excited, but I think also the Universal Studios one, because I think his behavior started to change after that, and he became a lot more mellow. He used to be very how do I put this? He was loud. He let you know he was there, but just everybody loved him, so no one really cared. Like, it was, I don't know. I cared about the guy. So many of his fans did. We felt like we knew him. I can see his face inside my head. I can hear his voice. You know, the way he spoke. He'd see some birds. He'd be like, Hitchcock would be proud. Little things like that just constantly was throughout the video. That you knew how he spoke. You knew him. Everyone felt like they knew him. He's still, without a doubt, one of the best Disney vloggers I've ever seen. For my own personal taste. Other people, they may imitate Adam, but they don't quite get it right. And I don't even want to call it an imitation. It's an homage. These are other people who he has mentored. There's a guy I really like that's starting out doing this stuff named Brickley. I'd say if you asked him, you'd say Adam was his mentor as well. Adam got him to go to different theme parks and stuff. Brickley's a graphic. I think he's like a graphic designer, like an artist, like myself, but really heavily into design, where I'm heavily into cartoons and mixing humor with art. Brickley's really into design, so I love watching his stuff where he'll go somewhere and talk about how things were designed to move your eye in a certain direction, line of sight type stuff. It's really good. Was in Europe with Adam for a little bit for the Disney Paris type trip. Just got back from seeing his friend, and he made a vlog that he barely could put together because it was so painful, because he put the raw footage basically out there. A day of walking around Universal Studios Hollywood, their City Walk portion, talking about the different designs of everything, the whatever. And then that's the day he found out about Adam. He sits down and he checks his phone, because he has his phone off while he's filming. And his entire phone is just full of messages. What happened to Adam? What's going on with Adam? Is Adam dead? And right there on camera, you can watch this man lose it. Because he lost a friend. He lost a mentor. He absolutely breaks down. And I'm there. I'm there with him. I watched it and I said, I feel the same, brother. We lost such an amazing content creator. And I think a lot of people, when they think of content creators, they think of the most vapid, shallow influencer hucksters out there that are doing nothing but pimping some product, or just fake ass people. And that's not who Adam was. Adam was a documentary filmmaker. He documented not only his own life, but the amazing adventure that was his life. And I wanted to share this with you, this story, if you want to call it that, or at least my version of it, in the hopes that you will be inspired to be like Adam, that you will seek him out. His daily channel was called The Daily Woo. Adam the Woo. You gotta look him up. You gotta watch some of his Disney videos if you are unfamiliar with him. And not just his Disney stuff, but anything. You look through, there's going to be something there. And he was a man who thought about his own life, and who thought about how he got where he got, and was very grateful for what he had created. He also, I feel, and I don't have confirmation on this, is a man who pushed himself too hard there towards the end. I think a month in Europe, running around, when you're eating all of the crap that any theme park throws at you, when you're drinking your piping hot caffeinated beverage every day, and you're just, your body just can't take it. I know what I do to my body sometimes. I know the situation I've gotten myself in. So live simply. Adam mostly did that, I'd say. I'd say that, though, if you're about our age, I'm 43 in a week. I'm going to be 44. Adam was 51. If you're getting up there, you need to go to the doctor. I know I'm going to the doctor this next year, getting checked out. I'm sure there's stuff wrong with me. I can feel it sometimes. I recently had it's a pinched nerve or carpal tunnel or something. I'm treating this horrible pain in my arm that I woke up with. It scared the hell out of me. And I got to get checked out. And much like Adam, I don't have a partner in my life. I don't have someone there who can say to me, I think you need to go to the hospital. Let me drive you. He didn't have anyone to drive him to the hospital. Now, there's not much some of us can do about not finding someone. That just sort of takes natural sort of course sometimes. But if you're stuck in your ways of wanting to be alone, at least get a really good support system around you. Hell, I'm thinking about my cat can't drive me to the hospital. Maybe I shouldn't live alone anymore. Maybe I need to find a roommate. Maybe once you start getting up there in age, you just need someone to check in on you a little bit more. You need someone to drive you to the hospital. You need that. And considering Adam had so many people around him that gladly, had they known something was wrong, would have rushed him to the hospital. He didn't have anyone there with him at the very end. He probably finished out his routine, probably filmed all day, went home, edited till probably 1 o'clock in the morning. That usually is what he did. And then, that, I don't know. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. A lot of platitudes, a lot of cliches start going into my head. A lot of people are just like, yeah, it can happen to anyone. And I've never been afraid of dying. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe that this is not it for us. I don't believe in necessarily an afterlife, but I believe our energy goes on and kind of like a drop of water returning to the ocean. Our spirit returns to something, but that something, there's no Seinfeld and there's no cheeseburgers. So we have to enjoy these things now, maybe a little light on the cheeseburgers. Certainly an episode of Seinfeld never hurt anyone. But go easy on yourself. Take care of yourself. Watch how you're living a little bit more. I just looking at his doughy ass, I'm reminded of myself, and I'm like, damn it. He even tried getting in shape a couple years ago, and it didn't stick. Of course, we're pleasure seekers. All right, you can't walk past that. They pump those smells onto Main Street at Disney. All right, to get you to come in and buy the sugar. I gotta try to get in some shape myself. You can't outrun the inevitable. But as I was saying, I've never been afraid of death, but I am horribly afraid of dying with the music still inside me, with the vlog still inside me, without being able to do my version of what Adam did, telling my story, of doing my work. I've procrastinated for too many years in being consistent with getting my work out there, and I'm done. I've got to do it for Adam. I've got to do it for myself. My mentor is gone. The vlog is over, but it is not over for the rest of us. We have to carry on in Adam's spirit. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. we're here another day to do our art. This is Jar Humor, signing off.